Today, for the Bitcoin price, we can see the bulls and bears fighting against each other like crazy. So today we will talk with DavinciJ15 about the likelihood of the Bitcoin price going to 11,000 or 7,200. We will talk about the exact condition which must take place for us to go to 11,000 and also about the condition which must take place to go to 7,200, and this will be very soon, maybe even today midnight. So make sure you stay here, make sure you stay tuned, and also smash up the like button. And now we want to come to the most important question of today. DavinciJ15, you are wearing a pink shirt. What the heck is going on? Let us know the most important question. How are you doing today, my man?
Actually, it's kind of salmon, but I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Chris?
Yes, also doing right, but it looks a little bit reddish. So let's talk about the Bitcoin price today. Maybe happy that you are doing fine. Everyone who wants this leg to go to 100%, make sure you smash up the like button. And yeah, maybe we can get straight into it, pull up the charts and see what's going on in the Bitcoin marketplace right now. And while we are putting up the charts, maybe I do a very quick shout out because it's the last day for everyone who wants to win $1,000. We are paying that out of our own pocket, no sponsoring, nothing. All you have to do is you go into the pinned comment, guys. This is the link. You click the link, you register after clicking that link, and then you claim the bonus by depositing 0.2 Bitcoin or 6 Ethereum, and you join our Telegram group. All that takes 60 seconds. You definitely get $60 for free, and you get the chance for $1,000. This is the last day, and today or tomorrow we will post a Google Forms document on Telegram, and you can win the prize. So now let's get straight into it. All right, there are the charts.
So looking at the weekly, let's start with the weekly and then zoom in. We can see that the weekly hasn't closed yet because today would be the last day at 12 o'clock UTC time. If we close below the 13 EMA, and then we have a candle body below the 13 EMA, as you can see, that's been a long time. Remember when we had that video, Chris said it was decision-making time, that Bitcoin was going to move up if it closes above the 13 EMA, and what did it do?
We made a live episode, man. During that close, we made a live episode, and we were celebrating because it was going to happen. And I mean, just look at the charts. Everyone knows what happened afterwards. It was so amazing, man. Good times.
Exactly. So right now, we're in the opposite situation here, unfortunately. For the first time in quite some time, Bitcoin, it looks like it wants to close below the 13 EMA, and this is very bad. It will make it even worse if the next weekly candle is completely below the 13 EMA. That would be okay. You know, Royal Express elevator hell going down.
I don't like to hear that, but I can see that a few weeks back we had 3 weekly candles being with their wicks, with the wicks supported from the 13 EMA. But just to throw it in, you are saying when we close below, it's a bad sign. But the definite bad sign will only come when the second consecutive week closes below the 13 EMA. Is that correct?
Exactly. And you can see that this is not looking good on the futures market as well. The 13 EMA is up here. At least the ribbon. The ribbon is here, but man, look at that. If it breaks below this ribbon, like a car would say, it's lights out, man. Lights out. Lights out.
Lights out, all out. That was Superman. He always said that.
I mean, the overall picture is still like bullish for Bitcoin. I mean, like, get real. It's not gonna be like, oh my God, it's going to zero kind of thing, right? But the point is, if we break down probably below his below that what's it called, the what's happening to my charts, below this is 7,800 and close below it, probability of us always testing way back at the very beginning of 4,000 5,000-ish is very high, unfortunately.
but only if the second week closes below.
Well, no, I mean, not just the second week, but also we have to close below the what's it called, the ribbon, I would say, And I don't think that's going to happen. I think people are going to go crazy, and if we get this down to 7,200, that will be like the biggest bounce we'll ever see in the history of Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's, I mean, not only the biggest bounce, it would be also the biggest retracement within a bull market in Bitcoin history. So I don't want to be all too moonboyish, but only like pulling probabilities from the history, the likelihood of going to 7,200 only from pulling the probabilities from the history are pretty low, since we have never seen a 50% retracement within a bull market. But also I want to bring something up. As the time passed, we have also not seen such a huge increase in the Bitcoin price in such a small amount of time, not in the last bull cycle. So that was also very unlikely.
Exactly. So moving down to daily, I had a little bit of a bot trade going on here, but I didn't get into it, so it didn't quite fire cleanly for me. But if I was in this trade, I would be setting my stop losses to the 50%. So that's where I'd be, because we're at the 50% mark on this trade. So you move your stop loss to the entry point, which was right here at 10,200. Now, the interesting point of that is that Bitcoin is like consolidating here, which is not good for the bears. They needed to like really push this thing hard for it to go down, and they did not do that. And so we're battling here, and this is not looking very good for the bears. If we go down to the hourly, it's even worse. We can see here. Let me just scale this. We can see that the bears were like rejected, rejected, rejected. I mean, this rejection is just brutal.
Let me also come in here, but like very quickly, Da Vinci. That's nice. We are looking at the weekly, and under a certain condition that can look very bearish. Looking at the daily and the hourly, it looks a little bit more bullish. And this is actually quite interesting. I also want to remind on that area here, let me mark that with my own mouse here. In the last episode, actually, you had set up a trade of, I don't know, the buy-in was at, I don't know, 9,400 or so.
It's right here.
Yeah, let's pull it up. It was actually a very, very nice entry point now in hindsight. Oh yeah, that was still that's still your drawing. Perfect.
Exactly. So right here we were like, okay, don't be buyer up here.
Yeah.
Right? This looks like it wants to roll up, but don't be a buyer here. Be a buyer down here. And now that I would suggest anything can happen at this point. I would suggest you lose. If you bought in here, you should have your stop losses right at wherever your entry is, because this could go either way. And if it goes higher, great. You know what? I think you should definitely take profits where, see here. Basically, where my stop loss is, which is for the trade, which is 10,200. That's probably where you'd profit margin. This is where this market would probably have a little bit of traffic up here between 10,500 and 10,300, but you want to take a profit before that, right? You don't want to get greedy, because you know what happens, right? Bulls make money, bears make money,
pigs get slaughtered. They get slaughtered, man. But it's actually very good also to see that your strategy worked there, because we usually don't market buy. We always let the market come to us. That's why we also have the sentence, let the market come to you. That's our MMCrypto DavinciJ15 sentence. And it usually gives you a much better risk reward ratio, because you are not buying at the market price, and sometimes you are missing out, but when it's getting hit, then your risk reward ratio is much better. Just as it was this time.
Yeah. So basically we have two possible directions. We're mostly leaning bullish at this point because of all this action happening on the hourly and on the daily as well. It looks really bullish. Nice. It's still early to say for sure, but most likely bullish, especially since we know we've come into this resistance area, the support area. Actually, it's now support. and we've rejected from that, and doesn't look like we want to go lower. Now, I want to talk about, before we go on to the news and all that kind of stuff, good stuff, I want to talk about how to trade properly, right? I was teaching somebody how to trade in my office. And one of the things I tell them is that you don't care about, what you feel, about how you feel the market's going, what's going to happen. And I could tell, you could watch people on like me and try to trade off of that, but that's not the way you're supposed to trade. What you're supposed to trade, how you're supposed to trade it, is you come up with a set of rules on when you're going to trade. And you stick to those rules no matter what. So let's just say we're going to do a 61.8 to 78.6 rules. And the rules are start at a local low, then buy when it hits the 61.8 and finding the top, but do not enter if the next candle is red, right? On success or fail, bet, but on a success or fail bet, find the next low and then entry wick to start over at 1, right? So basically, what I'm doing here, right? I'll show you how that works. I've drawn my fibs, right? And I basically, let's just say this was, let's just say I didn't know what was happening, right? I would draw my fibs right here, and it didn't hit the 61.8. It went higher, so I draw my fibs up here. Didn't hit the 61.8 until this point right here. Oh, look at that! I got in, and boom, I got paid. Because if you do your trade based on the 61.8 to the 78.6, and only take 2 to 1 out of the market, you don't care about the rest, just 2 to 1. Let me just see if I can get that right here.
Approximately, yeah, that's
approximate right there. So there's 2 to 1 right here, right? And then you can see I've already marked this as a good trade, a bad trade, bad trade, bad trade, right? Good trade, bad trade, good trade, good trade. And if you're in this one, you're just sitting around drinking until you actually get in at the 61.8, because right now you're not in the trade.
And that's what it's all about. You need more good trades than bad trades. I mean, you cannot be right the whole time. If you have out of 10 trades, 6 being good, with that risk reward ratio, dude, like that would be already too crazy to be real. Like this is already crazy, but you had 4 losing trades, and people do not grasp it. If you have 4 losing trades, that's not a problem. If you have 6 winning trades on the other side, that's already great. You have already made a lot of money.
Yeah, so following these rules, what would happen if you only bet $100? The maximum you'd lose is $100 in every single trade, and there's a technique for that, and I will be discussing that on my videos on my channel. If you bet $100 and possibly only lose $100 or win $200, your total wins on this particular set of trades is $1,200. But your total losses is $400, so you're actually up $800. So that's how you trade. That's how you trade. You don't listen to anybody's feelings. You don't listen to your feelings. You don't listen to anybody else. You follow your plan, and that's it.
All right.
That's how you trade properly.
That's perfect. Before we go into the news, Da Vinci, can we maybe make a very small conclusion for everyone who stayed here in the charts? So let's say on the daily and on the hourly, it looks still pretty nice. What do you think? What is the price targets you are looking out for, especially in that long trade? For Bitcoin, when the positive scenario comes into place, and what is it when the negative scenario comes into place? And also, can you tell us something about the stop loss, how you will move them?
Well, I would suggest right now, if anybody's in this particular trade, especially when I was telling them, hey, don't buy up here, buy down there, and if you're in that trade, your stop loss should be moved to personally, I think your stop loss should be moved to break even. Next, I really think it's a bullish bias because of the serious resistance, and we're at a lower point right now. So I mean, yeah, a lot of people in general feel bearish, and I'm sure the fear sentiment is really high, and people are fearful and thinking it's going a lot lower. So I think the market will surprise people and go the opposite direction at this point, and most likely, not
Yes,
100%.
of course, of
Right?
course, of course.
And then yeah, you should take profits at the 10,200 mark. If you is there a short there? I don't see any short. Maybe a continuation short, but again, if I were to look at the charts, I'm sure there's no continuation short because we saw higher highs, a lot of higher highs there, and there's just no way you can produce a
But
well, maybe you could.
But
Maybe you could.
DaVinci, that's why we are doing regular episodes. And when the time comes, and let's say it is going to 10,200, then we will have another episode and we can see what the chart tells us. And that's the best thing.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there were also some nice news we wanted to talk about because there is some news from Germany, some news from Brazil. And for everyone watching right now, these news are significant AF. We are not talking about specific prices, but we are talking about this kind of news, which will most definitely impact the price in the long run. And this is hopefully the run you are here for. So DaVinci, with which one do you want to start? With the German one or the Brazil one?
I think we
Brazilian.
should start with the German news, actually. What
Okay,
do you think?
yeah, that's perfect. I mean, we have treated something out today, and maybe some of you have seen it already. Only like poor 16 likes because, I mean, our Twitter is so small. But check it out. It is saying breaking: Burger King in Germany accepts Bitcoin in the app. And this does not seem all too crazy, maybe. And also you can see the Bitcoin sign here. They are most probably using something like BitPay, so they don't own the Bitcoin themselves. But just imagine that all these on all the apps for Burger King in Germany, you can pay with Bitcoin. And even though they are not holding the Bitcoins themselves and BitPay is immediately selling them on the open market to hedge their risk, it is still very great because it is an acceptance point. It is a merchant. And I think this is a very bullish news. And DaVinci, maybe before you share your thoughts, I want to bring up also this coin map. And here you can see that we have 15,000 venues. Let me show it to you right here. 15,000 venues right now accepting Bitcoin in the whole world. And imagine all these like apps, point of sale devices, when they also getting counted here, you will see the whole world being colored and like so much more acceptance points. And this is adding value and utility to Bitcoin big times. And this is the only thing which can drive the price in the long term besides the fundamentals and the tech. So DaVinci, what do you think about that news?
I think this is awesome, right? People don't understand importance of having the ability to buy stuff with Bitcoins. Well, maybe they do, actually. And but a lot of people would tell you that, hey, you know what, Bitcoin is useless as money because there's no place where you can buy groceries with it, right? Well, you know what? That's like saying, well, when the person invented electricity, there's no light bulbs or washing machines, so there's no use of having electricity in your
Not
house.
yet. Not yet. Like, that's such a good point, man. Not yet. Dude,
Yeah,
guys,
exactly.
wait
Not
for it,
yet.
man. Exactly.
Exactly. What has to happen first is that the technology's got to prove itself before people go and build things for it, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it is a little bit of a chicken and egg syndrome, but eventually it does work out because we all have cars now, and you know, before when we first had our first car, where would you get gas?
Yeah, exactly. The chicken and egg thing is actually a very good thing. Also, you have pulled it up here, 1.4 million Brazilian point of sale devices to support crypto payments. DaVinci, you actually found that, and this is just as significant, maybe even more significant.
Exactly. I mean, you could see this was huge. When I read this, I was like, oh my God, right? This is awesome, right? We can actually, people in Brazil are going to be able to buy things with crypto. And what's more important than being able to buy something with crypto is the fact that if you're able to buy something with crypto, that means you could save your crypto and know that in the future you will be able to buy something with it.
Exactly. And DaVinci, think about it. We have the best example with Venezuela. In the Venezuelan bolivars, the people are making t-shirts out of it. They are not using the money anymore. People are immediately buying gold or Bitcoin with their paychecks and immediately transferring that or with other people on the street for foods and goods and services. And with these point of sale devices in Brazil, which might be the next one, I mean, we see what's happening in Argentina. It is very great that these people have the possibility to use their Bitcoin for different kinds of goods and services and use it also more conveniently rather than only having the next door neighbor transferring it with their QR codes. So this is a very good thing. This is a very bullish thing moving forward, and it is not shared around so much right now because the people are only focusing on the price, trading back and forth, and this is why we want to concentrate on this kind of news, which are really fundamental basic stuff. So yeah, DaVinci.
Exactly. So if you're watching this channel and you have no Bitcoins, what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
start
buy or go away. Like, come on.
I mean, really, you should have just do the work that's required to set up an automatic payment to Coinbase or wherever. I mean, here in Chile, we have Buddha.com. They will take the money from your account and buy the Bitcoins at the price. I mean, you have options wherever you are, doesn't matter. Find it and start buying even a small amount, even like $5 a week. Just do it.
Yes.
Like,
it's not financial advice. It could be financial advice, but come on, $5 per week. Like, it is no financial advice, but definitely just own some. And people watching and trading with 100% of their portfolio, we are always saying you need a holding portfolio and a trading portfolio. According to your risk profile, the trading portfolio can be bigger or smaller, but you need a holding portfolio. Otherwise, you will be missing out on the big moonshot when it comes. So, DaVinci, I think that was such a cool episode. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I learned also a lot from that. Everyone watching, if you like the sound, if you like the content, make sure you smash up the like button and you also join the comment section down below in the comments. And now, DaVinci, do you have any other news or things you want to share before we wrap up today's episode?
Yeah, of course. You know, I'm still working on Pandora's Wallet, and I'm selling Pandora's Wallet. And yeah, if you want to trade cryptos, I know the crypto space, the altcoin space has been devastated, just crushed. But the thing is, they will be back. They will be back. And when they do, right, you're going to want to be able to take your cryptocurrencies off the exchanges. And so that's where Pandora's Wallet comes in handy. So check that out.
Perfect, man. Perfect last sentences. You will find the link in the description down below. As you are talking about the altcoins, let me just quickly bring up our last tweet here, where we have shared the altcoin dominance divided by the Bitcoin dominance. And you can see that just a few weeks back, the altcoins fell off a cliff, but they will not fall for an indefinite amount of time. We are waiting for, like, especially me and our team, we are waiting for Bitcoin to reach the old all-time high, and some selected altcoins will come back, and some selected altcoins, especially those who add value, they will come back, they will gain momentum again. When that will happen, we will see, but this is where Pandora's Wallet comes into place. You can get a 30 days free trial just by clicking the link in the description down below, and then you can see if you like it or not, and most probably you will like it. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. DaVinci, thank you so much for taking your time. Do you have any last words to say before we wrap up today's episode?
Trade with caution and don't get wrecked.
Do not get wrecked, guys. Thank you so much for watching. A Bybit tutorial is popping up right here. Tickle it with your mouse and click it right now. So we will see each other at the next one of MMCrypto. And as always, guys, as always, bye-bye. Don't sell.